This is Bama-Q Live. I'm your host, Lisa Blackwell, and today we've got Bruce Johnson with us from Deep South Sauce Company, and he's going to show us a different way to cook a turkey. Bruce, what are you going to do for us today?
Today we're going to do a spatchcock turkey, and one of the problems that I've always had throughout growing up with my parents, doing the turkey and all that, it was dry. So I do not like dry turkey whatsoever. So we're going to do a couple of things to talk about adding moisture into that turkey. And so we're going to talk about brining here in a minute. In fact, I got one down at my feet that's still in the brine, so we'll talk about that. And to help cook faster and even, also to help with the dryness, we're going to spatchcock the turkey. We're going to take the backbone out, so we'll show you how to do that, and lay it out flat. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit.
Wow.
But we brined it. That's going to put moisture into it. The other two things I'm going to do is I'm going to make an herbed butter that we're going to put under the skin to help keep that meat moist on the breast. And then I'm going to make a herb oil that we're going to rub on the skin to help get that crisp and add some more flavor there. Okay.
Everybody likes moist on the inside, crisp on the outside, right?
That's
this is how you do it.
Yep. So good. So what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce some of the flavors that we had in the brine in some of our herbed butter and the oil. So if you wouldn't mind, give me some rosemary.
Okay.
So traditionally, Thanksgiving is all about what? Just go ahead and put it right down there for me. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more than that.
More?
Thanks.
Another
yeah, we
sprig?
like a lot of flavor. So traditionally, the flavors that were of Thanksgiving were things that you could, get from the ground, right? Get from the earth.
So good.
The herbs and things like that, right? I'm with Deep South Sauce Company. You would think I'd be doing a barbecue turkey or something like that. But again, Thanksgiving's all about tradition. So traditionally, we didn't do barbecue turkey. So my family enjoys an herb flavored turkey. So we're going to use thyme and rosemary, a little salt, a little pepper, onion, garlic. And then I'm also going to kick it up with some lemon to add a little kick there too. So, you notice with the thyme and stuff, you just take the stem, take the leaves off. You don't want the leaves. I mean, you don't want the stems.
To do that with
sure,
the
you can just
okay.
take the top like that
and
just pull down. Sometimes you break it. That's okay. That means it was real thin there and it's probably tender.
It smells
so smells
amazing.
really good.
Wow.
Right? So we're going to kind of bring that in. And then I'm just going to take my chef's knife.
Here, let me just pull these. There we go.
No problem.
Got those last little ones, don't want to pull off like that. There we go.
I'm just going to take my chef's knife, put it all together, and I'm going to chop it finely because you don't want to bite into a big piece of rosemary or thyme or anything like that. So I'm just going to chop it up, right? Just rough chop, nothing special. Just keep putting through to get it in. I'm going to split this between the oil and the butter.
Okay.
The other flavors I'm going to add to the oil, right? Again, we're just trying to add just a little bit more flavor to the skin. I like the skin. I like it crispy. I like a little flavor to it. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, garlic. Now I'm going to use about half of this on the oil and the other half in my butter.
In your butter, yeah.
Right? And I have 2 sticks of butter in there, half a pound. Right.
Over there real quick.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm just going to get these extra in here. All right. So I'm just going to do a little bit of salt because I've already brined the turkey, so it's got some salt in it. I'm just going to do a little bit of salt.
How much of a little bit of salt would you say that is? Teaspoon?
Tablespoon, maybe teaspoon. Okay. Yeah, just a little pepper. We're just giving just a little more flavor. Again, we've been brining it overnight, so there's already some good flavors into it. I'm going to add just a little bit of basil. And then some Italian season.
There you go.
And then see that little garlic jar right there?
Yes.
Now, I'm doing the lazy way right here. Instead of chopping up fresh garlic, I bought it in the jar. I'm just going to put some garlic in here.
Little time saving.
Yeah, a little time saving.
Yep,
put some in the butter as well.
Yep.
Actually, I forgot. If you wouldn't mind just putting a little bit of the Italian seasoning and a little pepper in the butter too. That would be helpful. Okay. Right?
About like that?
Yep.
Okay.
And if you wouldn't mind, we're going to make a paste out of this oil. Okay? I don't know if you can see what I have in here.
Okay.
Just garlic and such. And I'm going to make a paste because I don't want it to be too moist. I want a little bit of a paste. right? So put it in there, mix it up.
And what kind of olive oil is this?
That is extra virgin
extra?
olive oil,
Okay.
but it is used for grilling in high heat.
Okay, so high
Yeah,
heat.
so it's, you know, there are olive oils that are more refined that, you know, are for salad dressings and things like that. They don't stand up quite as well to the heat, but this one is for high heat. And then
Okay.
on the butter, right, we're just get in there. You want to do this with cold butter. It's a little bit easier. And just get in there and just mush it together. This is a fancy way of making a compound butter.
And it's
Right?
so good.
You're just adding flavor into the butter. You want this butter to be cold,
Okay.
Because when we put it on the turkey, it's easier when it's cold.
When it's cold
Okay.
and supposed to be
So
soft.
so basically, I've you know, you can see it here.
Mushed it
I've
together.
mushed it all together, so I got all those flavors throughout the butter. Okay. So we're going to use that in a minute. Now, while I'm still nice and dirty, here we're going to talk a little bit about the brine.
Yes, everybody wants
All right.
to know what goes in the brine.
So we're reinforcing the flavors there. So what I did in the brine, it's 1 cup of salt to
Wow.
1 gallon of water.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to push in more flavor. So instead of using water, I used, instead of chicken stock, I used vegetable stock. I think it adds something different to it in putting more flavor. And then that salt's going to attach to those liquids and it's going to get into that meat, right? There's going to be a transfer of moisture from inside the meat with the salt and do that, right?
The science behind
not
it.
100% scientific here, but there's a transfer, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to drag flavors inside that meat. So a little bit of salt. I'm going to use the vegetable stock. I use pepper. I cut up an onion. I use the basil, Italian seasoning. I cut up an orange, onion, and lemon. Put it all in the vegetable stock. And the other thing I did is I heated it up first to break all that down. You don't have to do that. That's just something I did. And then I took my turkey and I put it in a container. You can use a big pot if you want, but to protect it, make it easier later to clean up,
Right.
is I bought a big,
Gigantic.
gigantic plastic bag. You can use
Yeah.
a trash bag if you want, but a big plastic bag, okay? Now I'm gonna take this out. I should have done this first, sorry. I'm gonna put some towels down, only because it's gonna be a lot of liquid that comes out.
Okay.
And, you know, poultry, I don't like that running everywhere, right? I don't, it's, you can get some bacteria there.
Is that all then your vegetable stock? Did you replace all that water proportion with vegetable stock?
Yeah, I did. So when I did about 1 gallon of vegetable stock to it.
Yes, yes.
And then if your turkey doesn't fit all the way under, just fill it up with tap water, that cold
the
tap water. That's
Okay,
fine.
cold tap water.
So I'm gonna take our turkey out here. Just let it drain. There's gonna be a lot of liquid in the cavity. All right. So I'm just going to put it down on the towels here. You may have to take some paper towels. You want to dry the skin off and get some of the peppercorns and things like that that you might have put in there. Again, what you put in your brine are the flavors you enjoy, right? And then just reinforce those flavors throughout. So we're just going to kind of pat it dry. Now, a trick that I normally do, for today we didn't do it just because I wanted to show you guys taking it out of the brine. I would take this out of the brine the day before I plan on cooking it.
Okay.
And leaving it in the fridge open, right? So it's uncovered, so that the skin has a chance to dry out a little bit more. Again, it helps with the crispiness, right?
There you go.
And so now,
A tip for crispiness.
this is the amount of brine I had left over.
Look at that.
And you know, so it's quite a bit.
Now, could you use that again if you want to do another turkey?
No.
Gotta start with a new,
Yeah, that
different,
gets
just in case.
that gets thrown away.
Okay.
If you pour it down the sink, make sure you bleach your sink out and all that stuff after you're done.
Out of here. Okay.
All right, so you have your turkey, right? Breasts, legs. Now, normally you would cook the turkey like this,
Okay.
right? And a lot of people would stuff the cavity with various things. You know, you could reinforce your flavors, rosemary, citrus, apple, whatever you could, and help the cooking process by putting something in it. But one of the things that still happens is your legs and thighs have to get to 185 degrees, your breasts to 165. Okay,
Yeah.
how hard is that to do on the same piece of meat? Well, what winds up happening is one dries out while the other's trying to catch up. And it has to do with this cavity, right,
Okay.
and the way the heat transfers. So what we're going to do is take the backbone out. So I'm
Okay.
just going to cut some of this loose skin off. A lot of times I'll spatchcock it before I put it in the brine, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do this. It
Sure.
fits in your container better when you do
Yeah,
that, right?
I would think so.
Breast down,
Okay, breast down.
neck,
There's the neck.
comes all the way down the back. Okay, so what you want to do, and this is not easy, right? You want to come down the side of the spine with a heavy knife. Watch your fingers.
Very sharp knife.
Yep. As you're towards the head, where the head would be, you're going to come through pretty easy, right? That's the rib cage. But as you get down to the bottom, the hips, those are some bigger bones.
Tougher bones, huh?
So it's just, I mean, it's just work. You can also use scissors.
Uh-huh.
I have some poultry scissors as well. But sometimes it's just as good to just manhandle it as best you can. I may have to get the scissors out.
These right here?
Yep. You just want to get right down the side
Okay.
of the spine to get through all that. Just be very careful with your fingers.
Yeah. Very careful.
All right.
Especially
Now-
these nice sharp knives.
Yeah, and you can save the spine along with the neck and stuff that you got out.
You can
And
make
you cannot do this on a
stock
frozen
with it,
bird.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say you can make stock.
Uh-huh.
You can put it in the bottom of the pan that we're going to have. So I'm going to reinforce with some flavors underneath the bottom of the pan. All right, I told you this was going to be difficult. I've yet to have one go easy. Chickens are easier. You can also do this with chicken, right? Because chicken has the same problem with the temperature of the different parts of the chicken.
Sure.
The breast versus the dark meat.
Yep. Same thing. Chicken
yeah.
can dry out.
Chicken can dry out. So spatchcocking a chicken helps a lot. Oof.
All
right.
right. Take some muscle.
It does. I don't do this every day, so don't feel bad. This is only my 5th one to do this week, and I'm still struggling. So actually, I'm gonna nope.
Okay.
I don't need this today. So
All right.
what we've done is we've opened up the cavity.
Pull out that little gizzard, right?
But what you're going to have here is the breastbone, right? The wishbone. That's going to prevent you from opening it up. So you want to take your knife, you just kind of make an incision to open it up.
Okay.
I'm going to take both sides, and I'm going to pop it
Wow.
so it lays flat.
There we
Now,
go.
you can go ahead and try to take this bone out. I believe that bones add flavor as they
Yes.
cook, so I want to keep that bone in there.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've kind of got that out. I'm going to dry it off a little bit more. This is.
Okay.
Can you hand me that pan that's right behind you?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is show you how to put the butter in. I'm sorry. Let's see.
Where would you like this?
Actually, I'm sorry. Let me do this first, and then we'll get the
All
pan
right.
going. Sorry.
No problem. I'll grab the
All
pan.
right. So we got to take the skin. The skin is attached to the muscle, right? Mm-hmm. So you just want to kind of work your thumbs in there. I would take off any jewelry or watches.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because we're going to get a little over wrist deep in this. And just slowly
Work that off.
Work the skin away from the meat. Now you don't want to go all the way to the bottom because I
Okay.
need something solid down there to help catch the butter.
Oh, okay. Right. You don't
Right?
want your butter to.
Yep. You can do this on the thighs and the legs as well. My personal experience is those stay pretty moist with everything else we're doing. So I'm just going to butter the breast.
Okay.
All right. So I got that.
Not too bad. You
Right.
made it look really easy.
If you tear it, okay, just take a toothpick and try to cinch it back up because you don't want to lose your butter.
Okay.
All right, so my butter's cold, right? I'm just going to take it. I'm going to slide it under there. Now I'm going to hold the skin here, and then I can just kind of press and move it around. I want to get it all over
That area.
that area as best I can.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, take the rest of the butter. Another thing that you can do is you take this another couple sticks of butter, same herbs and all that, put it in a little pot and put it in the smoker with your bird, and every now and then, like every 30 minutes or so, it'll melt, and just kind of brush it on the bird.
And brush it
so
on
you
the
can
bird.
baste the bird with that. So again, just kind of push. Now this will melt, right? And there we go. So
Nice.
that'll help flavor and keep the breast there moist.
Okay.
Now with the oil, okay, I'm just going to put it on top here and spread it around. A little more of a paste, right, than liquid is helpful. And again, this is just going to help crisp the skin.
Yes. Give you that nice
Yep.
crisp skin with flavor.
There you
Lots
go.
of flavor.
All right.
Yeah.
So now that we've made this mess, now let
Now
me
you
have
ready
the,
for the
now let
pan?
me have the pan. Sorry.
Okay. No problem.
So I'll pick this up.
Okay. Just move this right in here.
Yep, and I'm just going to lay it. Now you'll notice.
Okay.
Let me clean all this up. I go buy disposable shop towels when I do this, so
Yeah.
I can just throw them
Throw 'em
away.
out.
I don't worry about it, so I can just be done with it. Okay. So, how
Okay.
else to continue adding flavor? So I want to reinforce what I'm doing, and continue to have moisture in my oven or smoker that I'm
Right.
doing this. So underneath, I'm going to put a little bit of moisture, and I'm going to reinforce the flavors that I have in my brine underneath.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll notice here we have some apples and oranges and
And
an
your
onion.
onion. You got some garlic. Put a little
and
more
garlic,
garlic
yeah,
in.
a little more garlic. So, hang on, it's not helping me out here today. So I'm just going to lift this off real quick. I'm just going to take an apple. You don't have to be fancy. Just cut it in half. We got an orange. Cut it in half, and I'm just layering in the bottom because when the I'm going to add liquid in here, and when this starts to drip, the fat, you know, the juices from that are going to add into here, and then later I can strain this off and make a great gravy that
Oh,
again
yeah.
reinforces the flavors that I have in here, right?
So that's
So,
your
Basil.
basil, your Italian seasoning.
Yeah, Italian seasoning. Will you grab some more rosemary?
Okay.
And there's some thyme in that little thing right there. And again,
You want to throw the sprig in?
just the
or
whole sprig.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't,
That makes it
because it's
easy.
just gonna
You want another piece, or one's good enough?
just one and the thyme and that,
Okay.
if you don't
A
mind.
little sprig of thyme.
And then I'll take my vegetable stock. You could use water if you like. If you don't use the vegetable stock. Quick trick. See how it's just slow? If I cut a hole in the bottom, it just goes so much faster.
Look at that. Speeds things up.
Yep. So, added flavor there and moisture, right? So when I put it on the smoker, it's going to steam that
Steam
up.
that meat, right.
The butter and all the juices off the turkey are going to drip into it, right? So I would put that like that. Now,
Look at that.
so my smoker, I'm going to get rid of this right here. So my smoker, I'm going to set it, and I'm going to go a little high.
Okay.
There are different methods to do this. There are people that say start hot, then turn it down, go low and slow, then turn it up. I'm lazy inherently, so I'm going to just set it at 350 degrees and just let it go. Now
Okay.
this method should take about 2.5 hours. This is a 12-pound bird, you know, depending on your outside temperature, but it'll take about 2.5 hours, and you'll have a solid 165 in the breast, 185 in the thigh, and you'll be just fine with that.
And not as long as it sometimes takes a turkey
Sometimes,
to cook, right?
yeah, sometimes. Oh, I forgot, on the brine,
Uh-huh.
it's 1 hour per pound minimum, right? So this
Okay.
one I happened to brine for 18 hours, but this was a 12-pound turkey, so I'd want to do at least 12 hours
12
on that.
12 hours
You
of
could go
brining.
much longer.
Yeah.
You could go 24. I've heard of people doing it much, you know, as many as 3 days, but
Wow.
you just got to make sure you keep it cold that entire time. All right, so
Okay.
Now, we want to present the turkey. I'm going to set this one aside. We'll do it later. We need to make a pretty dish. Now,
Yes.
a little bit about Thanksgiving. Of course, I got a lot
Yeah.
about
The
Thanksgiving and
history of
turkeys. Yeah, there was a
Thanksgiving,
lot of
right?
talking going on there. I was
How
really
did-
excited.
How did that all get started?
So we got 3 hours for this dissertation. So the first Thanksgiving recorded, right, was the Pilgrims in 1621 with the Wampanoag Indians, right? Now, an interesting fact there was the Pilgrims were celebrating the harvest that they got in, and they were going to celebrate by fasting and prayer. But the Wampanoag Indians, who they were there in that same area with, came by and they decided they were celebrating the harvest. So they joined the Pilgrims and they did a 3-day feast,
Wow.
right? And of course they used all the stuff that they had around. So what do you have around in New England in 1621, right? Well, you have things you grow from the ground. They did have wild turkey in the area. However, they did not have wild turkey or turkey at all for the first Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
They
Okay.
ate waterfowl, venison, prevalent in the area.
Venison. See
Venison,
that? Yep.
lobster, New England
Duck,
had lobster.
maybe?
Clams, of course,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean, come on.
Seafood, yeah.
You're in that area, right? Because
Absolutely.
that's what was there. And of
Yeah.
course, all the things that they could grow.
Uh-huh.
Potatoes, pumpkins, berries, cranberries, right? Things starting to sound familiar with what we eat every Thanksgiving. It started way back then in the traditions back then, but it didn't really catch on to have turkey until 1685, I think, is when that occurred. And so, well, you wanted to have turkey going forward from there. But before that, they just ate what they had around. Now you notice I didn't say ham
Right.
in the
Didn't
first
mention
Thanksgiving.
ham because
Pork was not around in the United States until 1623 when it got brought over by the Spanish.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't have pork. So we couldn't have done it at the first Thanksgiving anyway. So, all right, so there's our oranges, reinforcing some of that citrus, right? I'm just going to do a little bit of
A little
apple
bit of
here.
apple. One other apple.
Nah, we'll just do one. Yeah, oh, the
Okay,
red one,
the
sorry.
red
Yeah.
apple.
Again, I'm just trying to reinforce some of the flavors and colors because we eat with our eyes
Yes.
a lot,
Yeah.
right?
you
So I'm
want it to
just
look
trying
pretty.
to, help you pick up the flavors that we've cooked with.
You want any lemon? Are we
I do,
saving that?
Yeah, we can use a little lemon. And actually those candied pecans.
These are lucky they've made it this far because I love candy
Yeah.
pecans.
So, certainly you can, I've added some lemon in the basting that I did earlier. Candy pecan, sugar, sun, melted a little bit.
oh no.
It happens, right?
There we go.
So I'm just going to get some pecans around, right? So we're just trying to get a nice presentation for the family as they come out, right? But did you know that Thanksgiving wasn't a national holiday until Abraham Lincoln
Wow.
signed it into law in 1863?
Wow, that long it took.
And we had a turkey that
goodness
we
for
did a
that.
little earlier today.
Okay, let me just move that a little bit. There we go.
Yeah,
That looks beautiful.
not bad,
Oh,
huh?
yes. The magic of TV.
Now, it doesn't have
Beautiful
that
color.
standing, appearance to it like you're used to with the rounded bit. You could try to do that, but the skin's pretty crisp. It would just crack. So you have to present just slightly different, right? And then
Yeah.
we'll just put this one in.
But it looks beautiful. I mean, the color of the skin and the seasoning on it and everything looks
Oh yeah, it's
gorgeous.
crisp.
Yeah.
It is crisp. So, have our presentation of turkey. So 1863, right? National holiday. Some other nice things. Did you know that the first professional football games were not played until 1920
Wow.
on Thanksgiving Day?
Wow.
And another cool thing about the football and Thanksgiving was after the Great Depression, they wanted to increase the number of shopping days, right? So we're used to Black Friday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Thanksgiving is the fourth Thursday of November. Roosevelt pulled it in to the third week, so we'd have 7 more shopping days, right? In 1939,
time.
they had to rescind it in 1941 because the football coaches of the teams were so upset because it messed with their schedule.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can't have that.
Can't have that. All right.
No.
You ready to dig in a little bit?
Yes, I can't wait to
like-
try this.
Thigh, leg, or breast?
Well, I'd say leg.
The
but
leg,
I like
huh?
breasts too, so I
All
like
right,
it
we'll
all.
take a little bit of both. So
Okay, a little bit.
come in right here, and it should just get that joint opened up.
Wow,
look how
that
it
looks
just
amazing.
pulls right
Look at
apart, doesn't it?
that. Yeah.
All right. So you want to grab a little bit of that.
Okay.
I'll let you put your hands in there and grab a taste.
Ooh, it's pretty hot.
It's still hot, huh? All right.
Yeah.
And then let's see what we have.
Oh, that's not too bad. Mmm. Mmm.
So let's see what we had. Did we get it nice and moist?
That tastes
Yeah.
delicious.
I don't know if you can see the
Oh, yeah.
moisture in here, and then the skin, and you can see what that herbed butter does underneath the skin. Just really
See a piece of skin that has my name on
yeah.
it. Right
right
there.
there. Very good. All right.
Oh,
So,
wow.
that is a spatchcock turkey in a brine, and then we put the herbed butter underneath the skin.
You can taste that.
Yeah, an oiled herb on top of the skin. 350 for a couple hours on the smoker. We're looking for 165 in the deep part of the breast, 185 in the deep part of the thigh. And then I kind of, while I was cooking it, I used a butter and herb base
Right, to baste
on top
it
of it.
periodically. Right.
And there you go.
It is chock full of flavor. That is absolutely delicious.
Well, good.
That
Well,
is
thank
so
you very
good.
much.
Yeah, in fact, I might have to have another
You
bite.
have a little more?
That was really good. I'm going to have some more of this after we're off here, but I hope you really enjoyed our presentation of the spatchcock turkey. This is absolutely delicious. If you're looking for a different way to do it, this is amazing. You will love it. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Bama-Q Live.